Yeah, so today's video might be difficult for me to film, just 'cause it is roasting here in Liverpool, and I've just gone outside to try and film, but it's so noisy 'cause I live right by the river. Um, the seagulls, they're up and they're flying and they're squawking, and then my cats are meowing at me, and it's just a nightmare. So I'll see how it goes, but if it's too noisy, I'll see what I can do. I'll refilm it or something. Um, so today's video is about a little 5-year-old girl, and it's a case from 2003 in Australia. And the headline that intrigued me was that a notorious child killer who, murdered a 5-year-old girl in his caravan before killing and raping her corpse is now out and about, and he's living by 5 schools and numerous childcare centres. I came across this case looking into Colin Pickford. He murdered 2 15-year-old girls in England in the 80s, and it came out last month that he's getting released. So this is how I found this case. So in 2003, a man, a 22-year-old at the time, Tim Kosowicz, strangled 5-year-old Chloe Hoson. He suffocated her with shopping bags, and then he dumped her body into a creek. She loved kittens, and he used the kitten to get her into his caravan. He was living at the time at the Old Landsvale Caravan Park in Sydney's southwest. Detectives found the bag with blood-soaked clothes and sheets in. He said to police that Chloe had knocked over a bowl that had his weed in, and he got that mad that he killed her. And then he put her little body into a duffel bag. He later told psychiatrists that he was motivated to kill her by voices in his head. He escaped the jail sentence because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2005, and he went to a hospital until he was released. He now lives unsupervised in Carlington in Sydney West, and local parents are horrified, and rightly so. He was known to suffer from a mental illness before this, and authorities knew he used illegal drugs. They knew he was a danger to himself and others, and that he did not always take his medication. Weeks before Tim killed Chloe, he had an episode where he threatened violence. His parents claim he was turned into a criminal because he had little hope of getting help for his mental illness. They went on to say, quote, "Our son is guilty of being sick." Well, they can't really say he had little help or little hope of getting help for his mental illness when, he was prescribed medication which he wouldn't take, and he decided to self-medicate with illegal drugs. So They can't have it both ways. Anyway, so he spent 15 years in Morisset Hospital Forensic Psychology and was released in 2019. Due to the fact that he never got sentenced to a prison, he is not made to sign the sex offenders register, which then means he can live near children. There's no restrictions. Chloe's mum, Karina, blames herself for telling her to go outside and play while she cleaned the caravan. She lives with the guilt every day. The last thing she said to her was, quote, "Leave me alone and go and play," end quote. When she speaks about this, the pain is just, you can feel her pain. Okay, so Chloe Hoson was the eldest child of 4, and her mum Karina was pregnant with her 5th baby at the time of Chloe's murder. Chloe's friend at the time, Hope Williams, said she was a sweet little kid and very inquisitive. She loved cats so much and would always play with the stray cats at the caravan park. Her mum said she got her love of cats from her. It was Friday the 7th of November 2003, and Chloe had not gone back home for a while, so Karina asked her son Tyson if he knew where she was. He said that Chloe was with the man with the yellow hair. Now Tyson had a speech impediment at the time, and Karina was unsure what he meant. The police were called and the search began. Police said that after she went missing, there had a lot of potential suspects who lived at the caravan park. The caravan park where the family lived was described by Chloe's uncle as a hellhole. It was full of drug addicts, sex workers, drug dealers and sex offenders, so not the ideal place to bring up a family. Why the housing department sent families to live there is beyond me. As night time fell, the search was called off until the morning. But later that night at 1 a.m, a resident of the caravan park was caught on CCTV with a large duffel bag. This bag contained the body of 5-year-old Chloe, was then dumped in the creek, and then 15 minutes later the same resident is caught coming back on camera, but this time the bag looks empty. On Saturday the 8th of November at 8 a.m, the search was getting ready to start looking again. Unfortunately, her uncle Dwayne Kane felt the need to walk along the creek. He found her lifeless body. He said she had bags over her head, her pants were pulled down and she was tied up. Her uncle said he wanted to run and pick her up, but something stopped him. He knew it was too late. For the police though, alarm bells started ringing. Police detained Dwayne as a suspect and he was questioned at length. The crime scene was cautioned off and the homicide investigation began. Dwayne's alibi was poor. He claimed he was watching TV in his mum's bed. Plus, the last time he seen Chloe was a few weeks before, when Karina kicked him out and told him never to come back. He also had a photo of Chloe in his wallet, but none of the other kids' photos were there. Dwayne was stripped naked, DNA was taken, and fingernail scrapings were done. But he was not the killer. He had found his 5-year-old niece murdered and raped, and then the police treated him like a suspect. Eventually, a left thumbprint was lifted from one of the shopping bags that was over Chloe's head. The police interviewed 8-year-old Hope Williams, Chloe's little friend, to find out where they played and who they played with. The next day, Sunday the 9th of November, Detective Roger Best said rope was collected from the crime scene along with other evidence. The print on the bag matched that of Timothy Edward Kosowicz, who was a resident at the caravan park. Karina was taken to ID Chloe. She said there was still grass and sticks in her hair. There was only a bit of her face showing. The post-mortem showed that the cause of death had been suffocation due to the 2 bags around her head. Kosowitz's home was searched. Sorry, just having a drink. Caravan C27 was searched by police, but he wasn't there at the time. He was in his mother's house. He agreed to meet the police at the station. He was asked what he was doing on Friday night, and he said he watched Neighbours and then The Simpsons, made some dinner, and then the police arrived at the site, and then he went to sleep. Police asked him, "Did you get out of bed later that night?" Tim said, "Not that I know of." Police asked, "About 2 a.m, 3 a.m? Tim replies, "No." The police ask again, "You know that for sure?" Tim replies, "Yes." Police have him on CCTV at 1 a.m, but they haven't told him yet. The police ask him, "Do you know that girl?" Tim says, "I've seen her around, I think." Police ask, "Do you know where you've seen her?" He replies, "In the middle of the caravan park." Police ask, "Do you know her name?" Tim, "No." "Oh, you said her name was Chloe." The police ask, "Did you know that?" He said no. The police ask him, "Do you know who killed Chloe?" "No, I don't," is Tim's reply. The interview lasted 2 hours and 12 minutes. He denied any involvement. He said the kids annoyed him. They're too noisy. The police made him aware that people at the park told him that kids went into his caravan. Tim's responses are disconcerting to the police. He replies that they might have been in his caravan, but he is not sure about it. The police ask him, why weren't he sure if the kids were in his caravan or not? Surely that's something he should know. And Tim said, "There's kids everywhere at the caravan park. I remember kids would come over to my place to play with my cat." Interesting that he notes that he's got a cat, and Chloe loved cats. So the police ask him, was Chloe one of those kids? And Tim said, "No, I don't think so, but I told them to go away because I didn't want kids in my place." The forensics team find in Timothy's place a shiny love heart sticker, which matches one that was found on Chloe. A direct link between Chloe and Tim. They also find a black duffel bag with blood-stained sheets and a pool of blood in the bottom. The police then arrest him at his parents' home. The interview starts at 2:46 a.m. The police begin to show him the search warrant. Then he says that he thinks he needs a lawyer. Then he confessed to killing Chloe. He didn't want to see the footage that they had of the search in his caravan. He then said, "I couldn't kill her, so I put a plastic bag over her head and then another one." The police ask him, why doesn't he want to see? And he says it's because of the blood-stained blanket. He said he lost the plot and blacked out and strangled her because he knocked over his weed. The detective said his blood boiled at that point. Timothy acts so pathetic in the interview. He said he can't control himself when the voices bug him. He said he doesn't know what he was doing. He then asks if police can keep it quiet. He doesn't want his parents finding out what he's done. Okay, so the next part is the court case. So Chloe's uncle Peter said that when Timothy walked into court, he looked so normal. His charges were rape and strangulation. The family had to be restrained. Karina shouted to him, "You're a sick man, you don't even care." Several family members launched at him and the courtroom erupted. The police had to restrain 5 family members, including Chloe's dad, Michael Hoson, whose anger continued outside the court. Chloe's aunt, Kelly Kane, Dwayne Kane's wife, launched at him. She ended up having a seizure and leaving in an ambulance. Chloe's favourite song was "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." Her mum didn't want her coffin to be lowered into the ground because then she wouldn't really be gone. Timothy pleaded not guilty on grounds of mental illness. He told 2 psychiatrists how he hears voices who commanded him to kill. One of the voices was male and one was female. The case was heard in one day. No jury, just a judge, Judge David Patton. He found Timothy not guilty of murder and raping her dead body. The family didn't understand the verdict. It was decided that at the time of the killing, the defendant didn't know what he was doing, even though he tried to cover his tracks and get away with it. The 2 psychiatrists even said there was the possibility that he was lying. He knew what he did was wrong. In his first interview with police, he didn't mention any voices. The family were hoping he would remain in hospital for life, but he was quietly released in 2019. The family and the detective in the case were not told about his release. Channel 7 tracked him down when he was shopping with his mum, Colleen. He told the reporter to piss off. Madness runs in that family because his older sister Donna in 2013 set her house on fire while her partner was in bed. In 2016, she got a 2-year suspended sentence. Dwayne Kane, the uncle, is concerned that Timothy will stop taking his medication again and be at risk to children. According to Colleen, Timothy's mother, 2 weeks before Chloe was murdered, Timothy went to hospital and asked for help because he was hearing voices. He was diagnosed in 1999 and he claimed biker gangs were after him. Police took him to hospital at that time. He claimed the sky was rumbling. The start of 2003, the year he killed Chloe. He claimed spiders and snakes were trying to bite him, and he ran into a pub naked. He had stopped taking his medication 3 months before Chloe's murder and was taking speed and weed. A month before the murder, he had been in hospital. Now this bit pisses me off. Colleen, Timothy's mum, has a picture of Chloe on her fridge. What the hell? The reporter asks, is it safe for Timothy to be out? Colleen says that she keeps an eye on him 24/7, which is load of bollocks. New South Wales are trying to change laws so that people are not found not guilty due to mental illness, but are found guilty but not responsible. The not guilty verdict is secondary abuse to these families. Karina suffers with her own mental illness, and her whole family is in so much pain. Chloe's little friend Hope is now a grown woman, and she reflects on the things Chloe has never got to do, like go to school, get a boyfriend, getting a job, having children. She was robbed of a life, but her killer gets to live his. I want to end on a poem that Chloe's uncle wrote. I feel so empty and lost. I feel my heart breaking. I close my eyes and I remember your smile. I remember your giggle, and that makes me smile. Your voice was like an angel. Your singing filled me with happiness. You will always be in my heart. I will think of you. I will be filled with gladness. I really hope Chloe's family are able to experience peace sometimes. Rest in peace, baby girl. Thanks for listening. Bye.